It often starts with a simple notification. A message pops up on your WhatsApp or Telegram. Maybe it's from an unknown number, a friendly face in the profile picture, often a woman. They introduce themselves as a recruiter, representing a big company, or perhaps a new, exciting online platform you've never heard of. They offer you a golden opportunity, earn good money, easily from the comfort of your own home. All you need is your phone and a bit of your time. This is the subtle, insidious beginning of a sophisticated global job scam, a digital snare set by what are often referred to as Chinese scam factories, designed to prey on the hopeful and the unwary across the entire planet. These initial messages are carefully crafted. They might mention a company like Jamaica, as seen in scams targeting individuals in Senegal, or they might invent a plausible-sounding firm. The pitch is always similar. Perform simple online tasks and get paid daily. It sounds too good to be true, and as we delve deeper, you'll see it absolutely is. The scammers are banking on your curiosity, your need for extra income, or perhaps just a moment of distraction. They are patient, they are persuasive, and they have a well-rehearsed script, a playbook that has unfortunately proven devastatingly effective time and time again, drawing countless unsuspecting victims into their web of deceit. The promise of easy money is a powerful lure, especially in a world where economic uncertainty is a constant for so many. These scammers understand human psychology. They know that a small, unexpected offer can spark hope. They are not just random individuals, they are often cogs in a much larger, highly organized criminal enterprise. These operations, frequently masterminded by Chinese criminal syndicates, have refined their techniques to an art form. The initial contact is merely the first thread in a complex tapestry of manipulation, designed to slowly but surely entangle the target, making it harder to escape with each interaction. The global reach of these scams is breathtaking, targeting individuals from Africa to the United Kingdom, with a particular focus on lucrative targets in the United States. The initial message, seemingly innocuous, is the gateway to a world of exploitation. It's the digital equivalent of a predator scouting its prey, looking for any sign of vulnerability or interest. As we stand in mid-2025, these scams are not just persisting, they are evolving, becoming more sophisticated and harder to detect, making awareness and vigilance more critical than ever before for anyone navigating the digital landscape looking for legitimate opportunities. Once you respond to that initial, tempting message, the scammers quickly move to the next phase, building your trust. They don't ask for a significant investment right away. Instead, they assign you what they call demo tasks. These tasks are incredibly simple, almost trivial. You might be asked to watch a few YouTube videos and like them, or perhaps you'll need to give 5-star ratings to certain businesses on Google Maps, or like specific posts on social media platforms. The idea is to make it seem like a legitimate, albeit very easy way to earn a little extra cash on the side. For completing these initial tasks, you actually get paid. It's usually a small amount, but the payment arrives promptly. This is a crucial step. Receiving real money, even a little, makes the whole operation feel credible. It silences that nagging voice of doubt you might have. The scammers might even use different personas to manage the process. One person, perhaps the developer, makes the first contact. Then a receptionist might handle the processing of your first small payments. Later, an HR figure could be introduced to assign you more substantial tasks, further legitimizing the fake corporate structure in your mind. This careful orchestration is designed to lower your guard. The small payments act as bait, reinforcing the idea that this is a genuine opportunity. Victims report feeling a sense of accomplishment and relief. It actually works, they might think. The scammers are playing a long game. They understand that trust isn't built overnight. By investing a small amount in paying you for these initial tasks, they are paving the way for much larger demands later on. It's a psychological manipulation, making you more receptive to their subsequent requests because they've established a baseline of perceived reliability and honesty. The tasks themselves are often meaningless in reality, serving no real purpose other than to keep you engaged and create the illusion of work. Liking a random video or boosting a non-existent product's rating doesn't generate real value for any legitimate company, but for the scammers, these actions are invaluable. They are conditioning you, drawing you deeper into their carefully constructed reality. Each completed task, each small payment received, strengthens the invisible chains they are wrapping around you, preparing you for the more significant financial commitments they plan to extract. This phase is all about making you comfortable and compliant. After successfully building your trust with a series of small, paid tasks, the scammers smoothly transition to the next, more lucrative phase for them: prepaid tasks. They'll tell you that to earn significantly more money, you now need to invest some of your own. You might be asked to pay a certain amount to unlock a package of higher-paying tasks. To sweeten the deal and further cement your confidence, these initial investments are often remarkably refunded, along with a handsome profit. For instance, you might invest $50 and get back $70 or even $100, sometimes with a promised 20 to 30% bonus, reinforcing the idea that this is a fantastic investment. This is where the hook truly sets in. Having received your initial investment back plus a profit, your skepticism is likely to diminish even further. The scam now appears not just legitimate, but highly profitable. The scammers then introduce a series of supposedly more complex or premium tasks. However, a new rule often emerges: you won't get paid after each task anymore. Instead, they'll claim that your earnings will be bundled and paid out only after you complete a set of several tasks, often 3 or 5. This subtly changes the dynamic, requiring you to complete more work before seeing any return, increasing your commitment. Once you're accustomed to this new pattern, the demands for money for new prepaid tasks begin to escalate significantly. The amounts requested will grow larger. If you pay, hoping for that big payout you've been promised, the scammers will invariably come up with excuses for why the money can't be released just yet. They might claim you made a small error in one of the tasks, or that the task you completed was linked to another, more expensive task that you must now also pay for and complete before any funds can be unlocked. This is a critical juncture where the pressure mounts. The cycle of increasing demands and fabricated issues is designed to bleed you dry. Each payment you make is justified in your mind by the larger sum you expect to receive. The scammers are experts at creating a sense of urgency and making it seem like you're just one step away from a big win. They might say things like, "Just complete this one last task package, and your thousands of dollars in earnings will be released." The more money you've already put in, the harder it becomes to walk away. A classic psychological trap known as the sunk cost fallacy. You're invested, not just financially, but emotionally too. As you sink deeper into the prepaid task cycle, desperately trying to unlock your supposed earnings, the scammers deploy even more elaborate excuses. They might claim there are system errors preventing the transfer of your funds, or that you incurred late payment charges for not completing a task quickly enough, requiring yet another payment to clear the supposed debt. Each excuse is designed to extract more money. The promised payout, which seems so close, recedes further with every new demand. The friendly and helpful tone of your handlers might also start to change, becoming more insistent or even subtly threatening if you hesitate to pay more. A particularly cruel tactic involves fake screenshots. Scammers may send you an image that appears to show your earnings in an online account, but then claim the account has been frozen due to some technicality or a supposed security check. To unfreeze this account and access your non-existent money, you guessed it, you need to deposit more funds. These screenshots can look surprisingly convincing, further manipulating victims into believing their money is real and tangible, just tantalizingly out of reach. The amounts demanded to unfreeze accounts can be substantial, often representing a significant escalation in the scam. This torturous cycle of escalating demands, fabricated problems, and false promises continues relentlessly. The scammers will keep inventing new fees, new tasks, and new system glitches as long as the victim shows any willingness or ability to pay. They might tell you that you are part of a team task, and if you don't pay your share, the entire team will lose their earnings, adding peer pressure to their arsenal of manipulation. The emotional toll on the victim during this phase is immense, characterized by a mixture of hope, frustration, anxiety, and often, a growing sense of dread and desperation. Ultimately, this charade continues until one of two things happens. Either the victim finally realizes they have been comprehensively scammed and refuses to send any more money, or they simply run out of funds and can no longer meet the escalating demands. At this point, the scammers, who were once so communicative and encouraging, will typically vanish without a trace. The WhatsApp numbers stop working, the Telegram accounts are deleted, and the victim is left with a profound sense of loss, betrayal, and often, significant financial devastation. The digital black hole has swallowed their money and their trust. Section 5. A World of Hurt. The Staggering Financial Toll. The financial devastation wrought by these Chinese-linked job scam factories is not trivial. It's a global crisis measured in the hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars annually. Reports from as recently as early 2025 highlight the immense scale of these operations. Euronews, for instance, investigated global WhatsApp job scams linked to China and cyber slavery networks, estimating their worth at a staggering 100 million euros. Other sources like Cyber News suggest that job seekers globally have lost over $100 million to these predatory schemes operating on platforms like WhatsApp and Telegram, and these are likely conservative estimates. The impact isn't just an abstract global figure, it translates into real-world financial ruin for countless individuals. Consider the heartbreaking case of a man in Hyderabad, India, who reportedly lost 60 lakh rupees, approximately $72,000, in a WhatsApp review scam, a sum that likely represented a lifetime of savings or significant debt. These are not isolated incidents. They are repeated daily, across continents, affecting people from all walks of life who were simply looking for a way to improve their financial situation. The cumulative effect of these individual losses creates a massive illicit economy. Some of the financial infrastructure behind these scams is starting to be unveiled. For example, Shinbi Company Limited, a firm incorporated in Colorado, USA, was linked to Shinbi Guarantee, a Telegram-based platform. Investigations by firms like Elliptic, reported in early 2025, revealed that Shinbi Guarantee processed an astonishing $8.4 billion, primarily in the cryptocurrency Tether, serving as a financial conduit for Southeast Asian scammers. The platform reportedly handled over $1 billion in just the last 3 months of 2024 alone. This illustrates the sheer volume of money being laundered through these sophisticated criminal enterprises, dwarfing many legitimate businesses. Indeed, some estimates paint an even grimmer picture, suggesting that scam farm operations based in Southeast Asia alone could be raking in as much as $40 billion annually. Americans, a prime target, reportedly lost a colossal $12.5 billion in 2024, with a significant portion attributed to investment scams facilitated by these very operations. The financial bleeding is immense, siphoning vast sums from legitimate economies into the hands of organized crime, funding further criminal activities, and leaving a trail of shattered lives and depleted bank accounts in its wake. Section 6. Shadow Networks, Geographical Hotbeds of Fraud. These sophisticated scam operations are not run from a single, easily identifiable location. They are geographically dispersed, creating a complex and elusive shadow network. While often masterminded by Chinese criminal syndicates, the actual call centers and operational hubs are strategically located in various countries to exploit lax regulations, corrupt officials, or vulnerable populations. Countries like Thailand, Cambodia, Dubai, Pakistan, and even India have been identified as locations from which these scams are perpetrated. This global footprint makes them incredibly difficult to shut down completely, as closing one hub often means another pops up elsewhere. In recent years, particularly up to 2025, Southeast Asia has emerged as a notorious epicenter for these high-tech fraud factories or scam farms. Nations such as Myanmar, especially in border regions with limited government control, Cambodia, Laos, and the Philippines, have become significant operational bases. These locations offer a conducive environment for criminal groups due to various factors, including political instability in some areas, and the availability of infrastructure that can support large-scale digital operations. The criminal syndicates running these farms are highly organized and well-funded, often operating with a degree of impunity. There's also evidence of a fluid operational strategy. For instance, when law enforcement agencies began to crack down on scam operations in places like Dubai, many of these criminal enterprises didn't just cease their activities. Instead, they demonstrated their adaptability by relocating. User brief information indicates a noticeable shift of some operations towards Cambodia, following increased scrutiny and crackdowns in Dubai. This ability to quickly move and re-establish operations in new jurisdictions poses a significant challenge for international law enforcement efforts aiming to dismantle these networks permanently. The choice of location is not random. These syndicates seek out environments where they can operate with minimal interference, often in special economic zones or areas with complex local dynamics. They establish large compounds, sometimes heavily guarded, where thousands of workers are employed, or more accurately, imprisoned, to carry out the scams. The sheer scale of these facilities, as documented by organizations like the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, underscores the industrial level at which this fraud is being committed, far removed from the image of a lone hacker in a dark room. Section 7. The human cost, trafficked lives behind the screens. Beyond the staggering financial losses inflicted upon victims worldwide, there is an even darker, more horrifying dimension to these Chinese-run scam factories, the widespread and brutal practice of human trafficking. The individuals who send those deceptive WhatsApp messages and meticulously build trust are often victims themselves, ensnared in a modern form of slavery. Young, educated individuals, desperate for better opportunities, are lured from their home countries with enticing fake job advertisements posted on platforms like Telegram and Facebook. These ads promise high salaries, for example $1,000 or more per month for seemingly innocuous roles like data entry or customer service in countries like Thailand or Cambodia. Upon arrival, the dream quickly turns into a nightmare. Trafficked workers, including many from countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, and various African nations, have their passports and cell phones immediately confiscated by their captors. They are paid very little, if anything at all, and are forced to live in squalid conditions within guarded compounds. They endure grueling work hours, often 15-hour shifts, 7 days a week, with constant pressure to meet scamming quotas. Escape is virtually impossible due to heavy surveillance, threats of violence, and the remote locations of many of these scam compounds. They are trapped, forced to defraud others to survive. These trafficked workers are given minimal training, sometimes just a couple of days before being thrown onto the front lines to deceive victims across the globe. They are provided with scripts and coached on manipulation techniques. The psychological burden on these individuals is immense. They are coerced into inflicting the same kind of financial and emotional pain on others that they themselves are experiencing in a different form. One chilling example from rest of world highlighted an IT graduate who was trafficked to Cambodia and then forced to defraud victims of $40,000 every single month, facing punishment if they failed to meet these targets. The scale of this human trafficking is alarming. The Indonesian government, for instance, recognized the severity of the problem and established a special division specifically to combat illegal online recruitment, reportedly managing to stop the trafficking of over 7,000 job seekers. However, this is likely just the tip of the iceberg. The criminal syndicates running these scam factories view these trafficked individuals as disposable assets, exploiting their labor and their desperation to fuel a multi-billion-dollar global fraud industry. The human cost is immeasurable, with lives ruined both by those who lose their money and by those forced to steal it. Section 8 Tech's double edge fueling the scam machine. Technology is the lifeblood of these Chinese scam factories, acting as a powerful enabler at every stage of their illicit operations. Communication platforms like WhatsApp and Telegram are the primary channels for initial contact and for executing the entirety of the scam. Their widespread use, end-to-end encryption in some cases, and ease of creating anonymous accounts make them ideal tools for scammers to reach vast numbers of potential victims globally, while maintaining a degree of anonymity. These platforms are effectively the digital storefronts and communication lines for these criminal enterprises, allowing them to operate across borders with relative ease. The sophistication of these scams is constantly being amplified by advancements in technology. Scammers are increasingly utilizing artificial intelligence, or AI, to enhance their deception. AI-generated deepfakes, realistic voice clones, and sophisticated large language models, or LLMs, are being deployed to build trust more effectively, overcome language barriers when targeting victims across different cultures, and make their impersonations far more convincing. Reports from early 2025 indicate a shocking 600% increase in mentions of deepfake-related cybercrime tools on Telegram marketplaces, signaling a terrifying trend in the weaponization of AI for fraudulent purposes. To evade detection and bypass security measures, these operations employ a range of cybersecurity circumvention techniques. They use login kits sourced from the dark web, which contain stolen email addresses, passwords, security keys, and browser cookies. These allow them to take over existing accounts or create new, seemingly legitimate ones. Ghost accounts created with disposable email addresses are common, and virtual private networks or VPNs are routinely used to hide their true geographical locations and bypass two-factor authentication or 2FA systems, making them harder for law enforcement to trace and for platforms to block effectively. Furthermore, cryptocurrencies, particularly stablecoins like Tether or USDT, play a crucial role in the financial mechanics of these scams. They are the preferred method for moving and laundering the vast sums of illicit money generated. Cryptocurrencies offer speed, perceived anonymity, and cross-border transfer capabilities that are attractive to criminals. As highlighted earlier, platforms like Jinbai Guarantee facilitated billions in crypto transactions for scammers. More alarmingly, as reported in April 2025, some cheap Android smartphones from Chinese manufacturers, like those under the Shoji brand, were found shipped with pre-installed fake WhatsApp and Telegram apps containing Trojans designed to steal cryptocurrency by hijacking wallet addresses during transactions, demonstrating a deeply concerning supply chain attack vector. Section 9. Fortifying Defenses. Awareness in the Age of Digital Deceit. The battle against these sprawling Chinese scam factories is a relentless and constantly evolving challenge. As authorities and tech platforms develop new countermeasures, the criminal syndicates adapt their tactics with alarming speed and ingenuity. The use of AI, sophisticated malware like Gorilla or Fake App, the latter found on the Google Play Store before removal, and even compromising devices at the manufacturing level, as seen with the Trojanized Android phones, demonstrates their commitment to staying one step ahead. This underscores the critical importance of continuous vigilance and proactive defense strategies for everyone. Public awareness and education are arguably the most powerful weapons in our arsenal. Understanding how these scams operate, from the initial alluring message to the psychological tactics used to build trust and extract money, can empower individuals to recognize the red flags and protect themselves. If a job offer seems too good to be true, requiring minimal effort for high returns, or if it demands upfront payments for tasks or account activation, it is almost certainly a scam. Spreading this knowledge far and wide is essential to inoculate communities against these predatory schemes. Governments and law enforcement agencies globally are increasingly recognizing the scale of this threat and are taking action. Crackdowns in certain jurisdictions like Dubai have disrupted some operations, forcing them to relocate. The Indonesian government's initiative to combat human trafficking linked to these scams is a positive step. Furthermore, international cooperation is crucial, as evidenced by G7 summit discussions addressing cyber threats, including those linked to state-sponsored activities that sometimes overlap with criminal enterprises. However, the transnational nature of these crimes makes them exceptionally difficult to dismantle entirely. Technology platforms also bear a significant responsibility. Meta, which includes Facebook and WhatsApp, has reported removing millions of scam accounts and content enabling human trafficking. Telegram states it utilizes automated anti-spam systems and moderators to combat harmful content, and Google removed the Fake App malware from its Play Store. Investigative efforts by cybersecurity firms like Elliptic are also vital in exposing the financial networks underpinning these scams. Yet, as we navigate 2025, the fight is far from over. It requires a multifaceted approach, combining individual skepticism, robust law enforcement, international collaboration, and proactive measures from the tech industry to turn the tide against this global scourge of digital deceit.